Wait, I think I've seen this guy before. Oh yeah, I remember. Hello everybody, Chocolate here. Did you ever wonder how the Hearthstone team comes up with all those amazing and wonky card designs over the years? The thing is, many cards are taken from the rich universe of World of Warcraft and then translated into our favorite card game. More often than not, the fidelity in mechanics and flavor is just great. In today's World of Hearthstone video, we're going to have a look at the cards of the new expansion and see what characters, spells, and items we can manage to track down and recognize in WoW. Without further ado, let's dive into the origins of Titans. The Titans, who are the focus of this expansion, play a huge part in WoW's lore. They are essentially the gods responsible for shaping the world Azeroth on which most of the game takes place, and they are locked in the perpetual struggle of order against the void. It makes a lot of sense for them to be amongst the most powerful individual cards ever printed. While lore hints at them since vanilla, we only met them once in person during the final raid of the beloved Legion expansion. Welcome to Enterus, the Burning Throne, the last assault against the Burning Legion, the demon forces of the corrupted titan Sargeras. To summarize, Sargeras was also a titan that got altered after a long exposure to fell magic and turned on his brothers and sister. Or sisters now, I guess. He captured them and used their essence to fuel his demonic, universe-destroying army. In-game, most of the raid consists of going through legions of demons that do not feature in the Titans expansion and that we will skip. Our first encounter with one of the gods is when Ionar, titan of life and nature, and only one not captured by Sargeras, appears to help us get rid of a legion flagship in her lush sanctuary. Leaving this haven, we face Agramar, corrupted by his brother Sargeras, standing guard and preventing us from reaching the seat of the Titans. He yields his monstrous sword, Taishlach? I guess that works. Which is actually an in-game drop and a magnificent transmogrification option. Which for non-WoW players means a cosmetic. After that, we meet the crew in the seat of the Pantheon. Norgannon, Titan of Magic, Khazgoroth, Shaper of World, that we see on the card with his faithful hammer that was a centerpiece of the whole zone in Legion. Golganeth, Lord of the Sky and the Oceans. Ionar, the Lifebinder, that regained their rightful place, and their leader, Amonful the Eye Father. All of their respective cards have power well aligned with their portfolio. Combining their powers, they bring the world soul of Argus to the seat. A world soul is like a baby titan growing within a planet. Like Azeroth has one, so does Argus, the homeworld of the demon's burning legion. So yeah, Argus was dealt a significantly worse end than Azeroth as a baby. Well, obviously, Argus is now a completely corrupted titan, and its connection with the legion must be severed by hitting him repeatedly with a big sword. Once defeated, its last shred of power is used to seal the big bad Sargeras forever, with Illidan as his jailer. In Hearthstone, we see a non-corrupted version of Argus. Since we never see it in this form in WoW, its abilities are made from scratch. The elemental theme is a nice way to link them to one of Hearthstone's main tribe. Alongside it, a new titan has been written in the person of Amitus the Peacekeeper to complete the roster, as to have one titan per class. She fits well in design, even if her theme is a bit redundant with that of Agramar as an enforcer of order. Once Argus is defeated, Sargeras, one of the most powerful villains in WoW, is now sealed. But not before stabbing our beloved planet Azeroth trying to kill its world soul. The card really mirrors the power level of this iconic bad guy and its ability to command an unending army of demons hailing from the twisting nether. It's now time for a change of scenery, out the greens of Felfire and in the snows of Northrend. Many of the new cards are based on the events that took place during Wrath of the Lich King and the peak of WoW's player count, the Golden Age, so to speak. On the icy continent of Northrend, we regularly encounter Titan creations in the form of mechanomes, iron Rikuls and giants, and other mechs. There is a reason why Titan forces are so common here. In the region of the Storm Peaks lies their fortress of Ulduar, ruled over by the Watchers, avatars of the Titans. These Watchers are charged with monitoring the well-being of Azeroth, the all-powerful world soul of the planet, while Titans search the galaxy for others. But Ulduar also act as the prison of everyone's favorite old god. Of course, he turned everyone mad, and now we have to pause our campaign against the undead to beat some sense into them. But before we assault Ulduar itself, we first clear two dungeons, the Halls of Stone and the Halls of Lightning. The Halls of Stone house the Forge of Wills, basically an incubator for the dormant Titan Azeroth, who slumbers and matures within the planet. The Halls of Lightning is a big factory made to produce legions of Stormforged soldiers for the Watcher's purpose. At the end, waiting on his throne, is Loken, the current prime designate of the Watchers, meaning their boss. He is the main piece via which the corruption of Yogg-Saron was allowed to spread throughout the complex. The downfall began after Loken had an affair with Sif, wife of his fellow Watcher Thorim, and killed her by mistake. All of this was caused by the god of death whispering to him that he would lose her. To cover his tracks, he blamed the giants of the Sons of Hodir and sent Thorim after them, later killing Mimiron for the same reason. So, not too much remorse in killing this one. Nearly every boss of the main raid of Ulduar is now a card in Hearthstone. Let's proceed in the same order the raid is played in WoW. The outer defenses are guarded by legions of Stormforged, and reinforced by the Flame Leviathan, probably the inspiration for its new little brother, the Flame Behemoth. In the outer ring, Ignis the Furnace Master has to be defeated in a fiery encounter. He is the master behind many of the armaments the forces of Ulduar wield. A prime card for a forged deck, obviously. Close to him is the big iron proto-drake Razor Scale, former mount of Thorim. In Hearthstone, he sadly has been demoted to a simple common. The childish Deconstructor is our next plaything. We fight him in a jolly rumble amongst heaps of trash. That's when we breach the complex proper and enter the antechamber of Ulduar, which holds the secret of life on Azeroth. We fight and literally step on Kologarn, creating a bridge with his body. During the fight, this earthen is so immense that both his arms have their own life totals, which echoes in the card design. We then encounter our first of the Watcher fights, which can be done in any order. We don't actually kill them, but a good bash on the head takes them out of their fever dream and they accept to help us fight the god of randomness below. Hodir is protected in an icy cave and you fight him alongside soldiers of your faction that have experienced his refreshing temperament. Thorim is being whispered false truths by Sif, a vision of his deceased partner conjured by Yogg-Saron. Freya is found in a luxuriant garden as suited for the avatar of Eonar. These characters have rather simple effects printed on their cards, not really linked to their strategy in WoW. A short train ride on the Ulduar Express takes us to Mimiron, the Inventor. Voltron is probably inspired heavily by this fight, during which the Watcher gradually assembles a huge battle mech to fight the adventurers. Voltron is the only Titan card that is far from having the power of a true Titan in WoW's lore. A bit weird to see him at the same cost of the likes of Golganeth and Agramar. Mimiron himself is only a lowly mechanome, because its real body was destroyed by Loken, their first brother to be corrupted during his initial treacherous plan. At the end of the raid, after we defeat Yogg under the Eye of the Watchers, a special chamber opens at the end of the complex. It houses Algalon, the Observer. When the fight was current, players had only a 1-hour window to defeat him. After that, he sent a message to the Titans that the old gods were allowed to run rampant once more on Azeroth, and that the planet needed re-origination. Understand? Complete and utter annihilation. The stake was then preventing total world wipe. Outside of the complex, giants of the Sons of Hodir faction roam the peaks and can be recruited as allies during the questing in the zone. Probably the most unexpected card design in the expansion occurs here. The time-lost Proto-Drake is a common? As in, one of the rarest creatures in WoW that drops a mount upon dying and has to be camped tens to hundreds of hours by players to be found, that only a fraction of the player base has killed is a common? I cannot believe it is not a gag by the developer team. Alongside Titan forces, the wilds of Northrend are home to many dangerous creatures. Wolves, trogs, elementals that make for some nice neutrals and pack fillers. There are also Watchers we met in later expansions outside of Northrend that were linked to the Titans with later plot devices. Radden is a Watcher we met several times in the story, that does not reside in Northrend. He watched over Pandaria, giving life to the Mogu and keeping an eye on the Shah, fragments of the old god Yasaj that corrupted the land. Adventurers liberated him as a secret boss in the Throne of Thunder, where the Thunder King siphoned his life essence to create anima constructs. He got pulled and corrupted into the Black Empire by N'Zoth when we assaulted the city of the last old god, forcing us to kill him, saying he could not be saved. A tragic end to a tragic character. Back in Legion, the magnificent zone of Stormheim, one of my favorite in the game, heavily featured Nordic-themed Watchers. Above this mountainous region populated by storm drakes thrones the Halls of Valor, a titanic Valhalla and realm of Odin, the original prime designate of the Watchers. Below lies Helheim, the dark and brackish realm of Elia. Dissensions between the Watchers of Ulduar and Odin caused a schism, where Odin left the Halls of Valor to build an army using valorous Raikul spirits. To that end, he asked Elia, a powerful sorceress and his adoptive daughter, to find volunteers to become undead. When no one came forward, and Elia spoke against forcing spirits to do so, Odin banished Elia below and forced her into ferrying the souls of Raikuls to the Halls of Valor. In the card, she is depicted before her transformation into a half-octopus monstrosity. Loken, during his betrayal, used the bitterness of the now Warden of Helheim to make her seal Odin in his heavenly fortress, so he could not act on Yogg-Saron's plan for freedom in Ulduar. In WoW, the Halls of Valor are the class order of the Warriors, a zone accessible only to this specific class, and Odin was an important quest giver for them. It makes sense that many cards of the class are flavored that way. We even see some Valkyries that choose worthy souls for Odin's army in-game, with cards like Trial by Fire. In the Hearthstone set, we see several Kvaldir, the Raikul serving Helia, and their Hellhounds. We even have a nice Easter egg of Skjal, the captain of the Naglfar ship that we board and clear in the Maw of Souls dungeon, appearing as the art in Down with the Ship, with his unmistakable but somewhat out-of-place hat. The Watcher Tyr is a special case. It is probably the Watcher with the most lore, and has been heavily featured in the main quest of the latest expansion, Dragonflights, where it was gifted with an updated model. This character has fought everyone. Ragnaros, Old Gods, you name it. He even defeated Galakrond, to whom he lost his hand, and turned 5 proto-dragons that help him into the first aspects. He would deserve a lore video on his own. Jotun is a third row character that used to be a mystery. A giant walking in dragon blights for no apparent reason. In recent lore, it turns out he helped Tyr flee when he learned Loken's treachery, staying behind in order to gain time for him. He was then cursed to forever fight Tyr's allies until Loken's demise. He is also the friend that helped Tyr forge a new hand when he lost his original one fighting Galakrond. Quite a stand-up guy in the end. The Primus is not a Titan per se, but an eternal one. This powerful being of the Shadowlands, founder of Maldraxxus, is responsible for forging the Helm of Domination and Frostmourne, both being key pieces of the existence of Death Knights on Azeroth. The class in which to put this card was obviously a no-brainer. In WoW, we don't really see the 3 different types of rune used in Maldraxxus. Only the Death Knights do so. Instead, the Primus's power expresses itself in the form of a ghostly green flame. The 3 runes design is the way to tie it nicely with the class identity in Hearthstone. His staff is the last artifact to return to its seat during the Maldraxxian campaign. There is also a minor theme of Kefir in the set, who we encountered in the Stormsong Valley. One of the many types of faceless minions of the Old Gods, they were charged by Nizaf with corrupting the humans of Kolfiras. Just like the culture they try to assimilate, they have a strong sea-themed lore and summon massive krakens when the time for subtlety is over. To wrap up the set, there are a few miscellaneous cards that are inspired by various things in the World of Warcraft. The spell Northern Flying is a reference to cold weather flying, an ability needed to be learned to be able to fly in Northrend when Wrath came out. Crusader Aura is a paladin spell that has been around since Classic, that allows nearby player to benefit from increased mounted speed. Well, that is it for the main references I could find in Titans. Let me know if I missed some, I hope you liked the video, and I will see you guys next time.